Hello boys and girls, it is time to see whether my Rev 4, 2018-4, ESP32 development boards work. The fix I did for the 3 volts for the CH340C and the decoupling. I am going to put this together, but because you've seen me do it so many times before, what I'm going to do is stop talking in a few minutes and I'm going to put some music on and you'll get to listen to some cool beats while I do this in super fast forward. Okay, catch you on the other side. Okay, that's the board complete. Let's put it in the oven, give it a bit of a cooking, and we will see if it works. Okay, oven is finished. Here's our board. Initial inspection looks okay. I'm going to have to do a closer look. Okay, let's just touch up the USB with a soldering iron to keep that mechanically sound, and we'll plug it in and see how it goes. Okay. Okay, we'll just check that out. Cool. Let's see if it works. Here we go. I have a power light. That's pretty good. Let's see if I can see it in the Arduino IDE. Tools, ESP32 dev module, port. No, I can't. Okay, I just tried my other computer as well, and also not getting the CH340 to appear. So I'm going to just have a look and see if we have any voltage at all on the IC. So remember, this was a 3.3 volt running the CH340 change. I know I can run it off the 5 volts, but apparently it should also work on the 3.3 volts. And my prototype I did seem to work. So let's first just check that we have ground, 4.6, it's okay. We'll do 5 volts here. Okay, let's check out 3 volts. 3.3 volts coming off the regulator. What do we have here? 3.3 volts going into the CH340. And try here as well. 3.3. So I've got 2 different 3 volt pins and both of them have capacitors on them for decoupling. So there's definitely power going to the 340. But there seems to be no serial communication. Let's just double check the IC, make sure we don't have any shorts. Nope, looks pretty good. It's just not appearing as a USB device. So one of my options would be to cut the trace just here for the 3 volts coming from the ferrite bead into the IC and then bridge over 5 volts and see if that works. But this is as prototyped the other day when I did the wire wrapping, so I find it very hard to believe that with the decoupling that there's any issues here. Wow. Okay, let's just unplug the power. I'm going to try a few things, because why not? I'm going to swap out this bottom cap here with a different one, a different value. Oh, my iron's gone to sleep. Time to wake it up. Okay, let's try that again. Not the best positioning ever. It's actually quite terrible positioning. But yeah, I can move it later, but that's definitely on. Okay, so we've gone from a 1 microfarad cap down to a 0.1 microfarad cap. For power, what does Arduino IDE tell us? Port, oh, 341, interesting. So a 1 microfarad cap here wasn't okay, but a 0.1 potentially was. Let's see if we can blink. Let's see if we can program and blink it. Failed to upload. And it's actually gone again. So it was there, and now it's gone. So it seems to be just as temperamental as it was before. Definitely doesn't like the 3 volt line. That is such a shame. That would make these revision 4 boards useless. Yep, now it's gone again. Wow. Okay, well, it's a shame. That's a whole bunch of boards down the drain. The good news is I didn't get a new stencil, so I saved a little bit of money there. I'm going to have to do a revision 5, and I'm just going to do it through the 5 volt line. I'm just going to stop with this whole 3.3 volt thing and power it from 5 volts. The other thing I can think of would be the ferrite bead. And the ferrite bead is really just another form of noise reduction. It just doesn't make a lot of sense. Oh, it's picked it up again. Let me try programming it again. Nope, because it's lost it again. So it seems to be intermittent for some reason. Guess it's time for revision 5. Wow, this has been a fun and expensive project. I know there were people on the stream when I put my revision 3 together that were saying to me just go 5 volts, ignore the 3.3 volts. And in hindsight maybe that's what I should have done, but the data sheets clearly say it can work with 3.3 volts. So it should be working with 3.3 volts, and I got it working with the YRAP version on 3.3 volts on my follow-up video. And this is appearing sometimes, it's just not staying there. It's very, very weird. I'm going to take off the ferrite bead and stick a 0 ohm resistor, or a 1 ohm resistor there. Don't want to wreck my new mat, so I'm going to do it on another PCB. Should be interesting because it's going to do some heat transfer. 0 ohm resistor. Let's let this cool down. Sorry about the noise of my hot air gun cooling down, taking off. I don't have a lot of hope that this will work, but I can only try. Okay. Plug it in again. We have power. It's a good start. Okay. Can we see it? We can't. It wasn't the ferrite bead. So frustrating. So frustrating. I'm back. It's a new day. Fresh mind, fresh eyes. I'm going to hack this board to get the 5 volt line working, and then I'm going to prove that it works at 5 volts, and I'm going to alter and make a Rev 5 and do one last run of PCBs. And if it works, I'm going to kit them up and put them on Tindy and open source it all. And if it doesn't work, I'm going to chuck it in the bin, because 5 revisions is enough. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. We need to cut a trace at the back, which is this 3 volt line. I deliberately put it on the back so I could easily get to it. If it was underneath the chip, then I'd have to pull the chip off to remove it. So I'm going to cut that line here, and that will break the connection between the 3 volts coming in and the 3 volt regulator pin over here. They need to be joined if you're using 3 volts, which I am, but it's not working, and need to be disconnected when you're using 5 volts in, because 5 volts comes in here and then the chip itself regulates to 3 volts. So this is not working obviously on 3.3 volts. Let's just go and do some damage. So I'm going to cut through here, make sure you can see what I'm doing. hopefully that will be enough. Let's just do some continuity testing. Good. Okay. They are now disconnected. Good. Okay, so now we need to cut one more trace, which is the 3 volt line coming in. So my 3.3 volts comes down here and feeds into the ferrite bead, then comes through and comes into the pin and decouples here. And this cap here decouples off the regulator over here. So what I need to do is cut the trace just here, going into the ferrite bead. I want to keep the ferrite bead in line just for now. So I'm going to cut the trace and I'm going to feed the 5 volts from probably the PTC for the moment, because that means the 5 volts has come in, it's gone through the diode, it's gone through discharge resistor and a couple of filtering caps through the PTC before it goes into the regulator. So I'm going to take it from the top of the PTC all the way down to here on the ferrite bead, cut the trace here, and then the ferrite bead will go into the VCC line. So 5 volts coming in and regulated to 3.3. So I don't have my magnifying glass in front of me. It's a bit hard, but I'm going to cut just through here, hopefully, if I can. And okay, so there's a wire just here. See, that's connected. This is no longer connected. Excellent. So that should be good. We should now have a place that we can stick 5 volts into. I've got some wire wrap wire that may or may not fit in length. Just looking now. No, not really. It can probably fit to the bottom of the PTC maybe. Slide over the top and see. It's a little bit short. Okay, I'm going to get a longer piece. But I have stacks of wire wrap, so not a problem. Doesn't really matter how long this is going to be for now. Just going to trim some off. Okay, top of the PTC. Okay, so we'll be able to do a bit of a bend. Excellent. Okay, hopefully I'll be able to do this on camera because I can't really see what I'm doing. Not sure if that's actually connected. Yeah, it might be. Okay. Now let's see if we can get it over to the PTC without ripping it off. Okay. Wow. Brain surgery. So that should be 5 volts off the PTC before it goes into the regulator, coming across to the ferrite bead. Okay, so let's plug this in and see what we get. Hopefully we won't get blue smoke. Okay, please work. I'm gonna, my Arduino IDE, oh, it's picked up CH340C. Let's see if we can blink it. It's compiling, it's connecting, fatal error, invalid head of packet. Okay, well we went a bit further this time. Let's try a different development board. Not sure what invalid head of packet means. It doesn't sound good. It's recompiling, connecting, programming. No, again, configuring flash size, and then it goes invalid. Timeout waiting for packet content. But it is picking up the device. So I wonder what this means. I've never seen this error before. I wonder if there's something else happening on the board. Like maybe the ESP32 module is actually not connected properly. Connecting. It's definitely trying to program it. Timeout waiting for packet content. So there's something else going on now that isn't related to the USB. The serial chip's working now. Wow. I wonder if there's a problem on the ESP32. Let's just unplug this. Just checking all the pins on the ESP32. Do I have a dud ESP32? I doubt it. I could try taking it off, sticking it in my frog pins programmer. Might be a bit hard to get off though. It's just one thing after another with these boards, isn't it? We definitely have success though with the serial chip on 5 volts, but I can't see if there's any problems here. What I might do is do a quick flux run along the edge. Any flux coming out? Can't see if there's any flux coming out with this lighting. Oh, don't tell me I'm out of flux. That'd be bad. No, there's flux. Okay, just can't see it. That was all off camera. Apologise. So let's just run the iron over this. Make sure all our contacts are good. Make sure I don't bridge it. I'll check in a second. Okay. Don't think there's any bridging. Okay, let's plug it in again. Try again. It's definitely picking up the serial, so that's really good. Okay, programming. It's compiling. Connecting. Invalid head of packet still. Really wonder if I've got a bad ESP module. Oh boy. Well, I can try to hot air it off. Okay, I got the chip off, as you can see here. It was pretty full on to get it off. I had to hit it from underneath. It took quite a while. I put it inside my Frog programmer and it's programming fine. So, yeah, not sure what to say. I mean, it took a bit of a beating to get off. It's quite sticky on the bottom now, as you can see. But it came off fairly well. I'm not sure I want to put another ESP32 on here. It looks like I might have a short here between pins 13 and 12, which shouldn't really affect anything, but I don't know whether that happened when I took it off or not. But it definitely looked like it was on and in the right place. I might try putting it on again, maybe. A bit worried about overheating it, but I don't think it's worth sticking another chip on. So these CH340s have been an absolute pest. An absolute pest. My FTDI version works perfectly. First time, every time. And it could just be the C's that I've got. They could be faulty still. Like, I know I got it working on the hacked version over here. But all it was doing is recognizing the chip. I've never actually programmed a board with one. And I know I had my other hacked version here, which isn't working now, and I can't remember if I actually got that working or not. I thought I got this working on 3.3 volts, but it wasn't working on 3.3 volts. I don't know if I'm going to do a revision 5 of this board, if I'm just going to abandon the whole CH340. I get that they're a much cheaper IC than the FTDIs. These are a few dollars each, and these are like 50 cents each. Actually, these are, I think, $3 each, $3.50 or something. But these are just an absolute pest. I just can't find a reliable way of using them. And I haven't had one of these fail on me. So, all except for when I stuck 12 volts on it. Whoops. So yeah, it's like wow. You know, I can throw more money at it just to prove a point, I guess. Don't know what I'll do. I guess you'll all find out. It'll be a surprise at some point. Thanks for watching. Thanks for going on this journey with me. As frustrating as it's been. I'm back. Every time I walk away and give up, a little while later I just go, oh, one more try. I'm just going to try one more thing. So I put the same Room 32 module back on. It was a bit messy to get back on again. I had to hot air it on and then I had to solder the pads. And it looks a bit ugly, but it's all connected. And of course, it started blinking straight away. Because to test this room on my Frogo pin board, which has got a diff to 1 in there now, I actually programmed blink onto it. So that's how I knew that this was working okay. So I put it back on and it started blinking straight away. So I knew it was good, but it was a different blink. So I tried to program it again and it didn't work. So then I thought, well, everything else is looking fine and working fine. The auto reset program stuff was working fine. It was just doing my head in. So last ditch attempt, I ripped off this 340C and I put a new 340C on, and this one did not work at any speed I tried to connect to it. So this one doesn't work at 921/600, but it does work at 460800 or below. So I've got a different blink here. You can see it's like quick and then it's off for a little while. I'm just going to change that now to be a on for longer and then off for a little bit. Program it now. It's programming, connecting, there it goes, off it goes, programming, writing, restarting, and now you can see it's on for a long one, off for a short one. So it's now working, and that was programmed at 460/800. So I think they're just bad chips. They're still obviously running at 5 volts. I have no idea if this one will run at 3.3 volts. It could be that this is literally just a a foobar chip, I don't know. But it could just be a really bad batch of copied chips or something from AliExpress. It should be able to run at a faster rate. But at least it's running and it's working and I can program it now. So that chip's a dud. I have no idea how. This one's a good one. And so I have to decide if I am going to do a revision 5 or just put this design to bed and maybe come up with a new design. An easier design, a smaller design. I mean, I've got obviously my tiny Pico, which is super small, but maybe I can come up with a small ESP32 Room 32 design as well instead of this big one. But I just wanted to let everyone know, perseverance for the win. Again, it's working. Holy moly, crazy, crazy. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to follow me on social media, and I will catch you all next time. Bye.